Hey y'all, welcome back to Let's Talk About it with Courtney. I'm your host, Courtney Carroll. I'm your licensed therapist in Washington and North Carolina State. I'm also your relationship connection coach. Welcome back. If this is your first time here, thank you. I am so honored and welcome to my home here in Washington. If this is your first time, I just want to introduce myself. Thank you for being here again. I feel like I keep repeating myself. I'm sorry. So let's just get to that right off the bat. Nothing about this is scripted. I know you're not surprised already since I've repeated myself. There is no me going off of a telemarker or anything over here. I am just speaking freely and as authentically and as genuine as I can. This is how I show up to therapy with my clients. I always look that way because that's where my computer and chair is, by the way. And I am pretty excited to record today. I am so sorry about if my eyes look super dark. Truth be told, I haven't quite figured out the Ring camera with wearing my eyeglasses, so we're gonna figure that out. I think I just need a new one. But here we go. So I've been meditating and thinking about a topic for this week. And now that the holidays are rolling around, I've got some surprises that I'm gonna announce next week. But specifically, I wanna talk about what happens like around the holidays, around what's supposed to happen in this season in your life where you are now separated, you've broken up with your partner. And maybe I'm speaking to the girls today, if I'm being honest. If this resonates with you men, I am honored. I love my men clients, and I love that for you. But to be perfectly honest, as you can imagine, I identify as a she and a her, and I can only speak from a female's perspective in my personal opinion. I've done a lot of work with male clients in divorce and relationships, but I personally have never been in a male in a breakup. So I just want to own that now, and I think that's why I'm speaking to the girls. I remember when I left my marriage, or when I asked for a divorce, that my world was crumbling. I remember thinking, how is this, I was confident I made the right decision. I was confident this is what I wanted. I knew I wanted to raise my daughter in a way where, one, she'd be proud of me, but also to let us know, to stand by. I can't teach her to let her partner treat her in the way that my partner had treated me. And that was such an important, pivotal decision for myself on why I left. But that did not mean that it was easy. And I say that smiling, it's more like a grim, if I'm being honest. I had depended on my partner, my ex-husband, so much. We were together for 13 plus years, married for 11. I could not picture a future without him, even though I was determined to do so, even though I was 100% confident that this was the right decision. And that's wild that two things can be true. Wanted the divorce, didn't want to ever be with him again, also scared shitless. And even wondering, what does this look like? The family, the holidays, and that's why I think I want to talk about it today. I remember just what is Thanksgiving? What does Christmas look like? And I will be very aware. He's very cognizant of that. I'm way more of a holiday person than him, and he's always respected that piece of me. But that's not common, by the way. So I'll give praise to my ex when praise is due, for sure. But it wasn't going to be with him. And even when we have tried to do it together, and it worked, and then it didn't, and that's okay. Gosh, it's such a weird thing to reminisce. And if you see me live in emotion, or if I get teary-eyed, I'm just showing up authentic as I can with y'all. But I remember, but it won't be where it's me and him waking up Christmas morning and waking up our daughter and watching her come down together and being married and happy and excited to see each other. you've gone through divorce, you're not always excited to see your other partner. And by the way, I think that's not gender exclusive by any means. And it was feeling like everything was falling apart. Like all these dreams, like this ideal family and this unit we both created. And like, by the way, these dreams weren't exclusive to mine, in my opinion. I can't speak to his, but from my understanding, we always had seen our future, especially after having our daughter together. And I think it was just so freaking daunting. And I just remember like feeling like I had cracks all over my body, but like I was still together. I was still moving forward. I was still going through the divorce. I hired the attorney. I did the things. I moved out. A lot of crappy things with our house didn't sell right away. But anyway, I'm going to stay on topic as much as I can. I had moved forward, but I was not whole. I was clearly still heartbroken. I didn't see my divorce coming. My ex-husband unfortunately got caught with a lot of infidelity. It wasn't his first time, but I was still surprised, y'all. Okay, and I'm not gonna even go down that road today. But I was surprised, and that's why I want to make that clear, and why I even made that comment. I was devastated. I was in love. I wanted my family, and I also knew I couldn't have it. And all of a sudden, I had to think about what does it look like now? I'm literally splitting up our stuff and giving him most of the furniture because the place I had was furnished. I just remember taking down like pictures and artwork and our, wedding boxes and what to do with those things, what to get rid of, what to salvage, what to keep, what to take, and all these wild things were going through my body, all while being heartbroken, all while being kind of shattered. I don't know if I like shattered, but like cracked. I want like a cracked mirror, right? And how do I do this? I haven't had to do life without my husband at the time since I met him. We met at 21. And all of a sudden, how old was I? I was 33-ish. I'm 36, so 34, sorry. I promise I can do math sometimes. And I'm like, I don't think anyone thinks they're going to start over in their mid-30s. And weirdly enough, a lot of us do. Interesting fact. Hence why I'm speaking to this. I didn't know what anything's going to look like. And again, I was scared. And at that point, I actually had a really good co-parenting relationship, and I still didn't know what to do. And he was on his own journey with it too, 100%. And I can't speak to that. But I do think we did the best we could at the time with what was handed to us, I think. But if you're in this spot, or maybe in the last 6 months, I think I'm kind of speaking to those 6 months or under type of people, maybe even a year, or maybe this is your first holiday season. Who knows? Maybe you split up last January. You haven't had to do this yet. So last year, let's change my mind. Forget 6 months, the last year. And you're walking into a holiday season, and you have these traditions, these memories, and nothing makes sense. You feel cracked open. Not cracked open, like you're just shattered. You just cracked all the words. I can't think of the right one, but I promise you I will get there. And what happens now? How do you fill the cracks? How do you get through the holidays? And if you have kids, there's so many extra layers there, y'all. Like, if you don't, it still fucking sucks. I hate when people say, well, at least my divorce didn't have kids like yours, Courtney. I'm like, what? We had one. And honestly, they still suck. I heard from my friends and my clients that go through divorce without kids just as much. It's just a lot more complicated. I think the biggest difference is you don't have to talk to him again. Like, just being honest. Like, my ex-husband, I would not be in any sort of basis connected at all if we did not have our daughter. And I think he would agree with that. And nor would he. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna go there again. But if you have kids and you're sharing time, and now things are on different days, and you miss your family. I'm 2 years into this, and there are days I still miss my family, the one I had with my ex. And I think that's just normal. I was asked this from a client this morning that's going through a divorce, and she had asked, like, is it normal to miss them even though you know you don't want to be with them? I'm like, yeah. She goes, Courtney, tell me the truth. How long does it last? I'm like, oh, still do it sometimes. Like, I don't want my ex back. I don't want any of that. But there are 100% days where I miss him and me and our daughter living in the same home, co-parenting, and having that. So if that's you, 2 years later, that's me still, you know? So try to be kind to yourself, okay? And I can't speak to the other part. I have no idea if my ex would, nor I don't think he should or would want to tell me that if he doesn't want to. That would be weird. But moving forward, even years later, you don't know how to really feel whole again. And so part of it is like filling the cracks a little bit. So if this is your season, you know, maybe one, if there are some important traditions, keep doing them, even if they look different. I won't see my ex this holiday season, but I will eventually see them. And we used to do like ornaments for Christmas. I will always let my daughter pick out an ornament for him. Like I will always do that. If he wants to keep it, not keep it, it's a gift for her. I do not pick it out. She picks it out. I'm going to keep that going. And I'm going to keep that tradition with my daughter in my home going. And maybe he does that with her at his house. I don't know. But I can only control my house. And so can you. You can only control your house. Even if you want to control both. Trust me, you can't. Even if you really try. Okay? But I remember, again, thinking, like, how am I going to get through this holiday season? Because it's just like, it's like up there in the air. I keep looking up because I'm like, we just idolize these holiday times so much and want them to be so perfect or wanting them to go smooth. And as a therapist, way before my divorce, the holiday seasons never go through like easily. Like, it's pretty hard, especially if you travel, your family's everywhere, all the dynamics. But it's especially hard that first year because everything's changed, but so many things are the same. My ex is still my daughter's dad, and I'm still her mom, and you have to shift, you have to move, switch gears a little bit, right? And again, it didn't feel good. It still doesn't feel good to share kids and holidays and celebrations and all that stuff. In my ideal world, and maybe one day I will manifest this, that it could be different. Maybe we could go back to her birthdays being together, and I mean, I would if I could, and maybe not all the holidays, like maybe Christmas or something together, you know. I don't know. It's honestly up to our daughter too. We'll see how that goes. To be determined. I'll get back to you if it's ever an episode, if it ever changes. But what I want to work with now is, how do you get through it? And how do we not let the cracks turn into crumbling? And I think that's the message, is you can have all these feelings and not crumble. That does not mean you don't cry or have a breakdown or whatever that means. That's not crumbling. That's actually processing, in my opinion. And that's my professional one. It's still normal to cry. My daughter just had time with her dad a couple months ago, or a month ago, or whenever it was, and I cried dropping off my daughter at school, knowing I wasn't going to see her for however long. It was like 10 days, 9 or 10 days. That was brutal. I cried my eyes out because it still doesn't feel fair to go that long without seeing your kids. See, it's still coming in. It's okay. And if it's doing this for me and I've had time, I can only imagine what it's doing for you over there. So again, be kind to yourself. And it wasn't like, that was my stuff. I knew she did, and she had the best time, and he's a great dad. When they're together, it's like two peas in a pod. And when he's with her, and it's like, there's no doubt in my mind, they're great. And so that wasn't about him or me, that was like me being sad I don't get to see my daughter, because it's just not normal. I've always had majority time with her, mostly because of his career. And when I moved out to Washington, and it's something I'm even considering. Well, I will tell you now. I guess I haven't really told anyone this. I am moving back to North Carolina. And I'll get into that whole another episode, I promise you, but I hope to be there by next summer, because I do want my daughter to have that. I do miss my family connections there, and I think it makes the most sense for my daughter and myself. And I think what the reason why I'm sharing that with you is like, it's always evolving and always changing. And if that's what you're going through, it's normal. It's okay. And I hate the word normal necessarily, but I think it's a word that we all as people use. Like I always get asked, is that normal? All the time, clients everywhere, like, or even friends, like, is it normal? There's nothing normal about divorce. Nothing. And what I want to get back on topic and say, there's nothing normal about experiencing the holidays for the first time. There's nothing normal about experiencing a major breakup, divorce, or anything. There's nothing normal about co-parenting, in my opinion. Like, you can have the best co-parenting relationship in a marriage. It doesn't mean that you'll have that later. And even if you do, it's definitely not the same one. And I can attest to that, but not just in my own experience, but with a ton of other people I know. Clients, friends, family. Nothing about it is normal. It's actually pretty devastating. That's why we feel kind of cracked open, like broken ribs, but like that's kind of actually how I visualize it, not shattered. And what I do know about broken bones is they do mend, but it takes time. What I do know about fractures is you have to either stay off of it and let it heal, or wear a boot or whatever it is. Like, I'm visualizing a foot in my head for whatever reason, and heal. There's a lot of time that you need physical therapy after anything like that. And that physical therapy is like that's how you kind of heal with that. I obviously, as a therapist, encourage therapy, coaching, processing. I think those that go in at divorce or a major breakup, and I'm trying to loosen the word divorce because breakups are just as hard. It's just with marriage, there's a lot more paperwork. And maybe it's not even all the same, because if you're long-standing partners, you're still share assets. So who knows? But you get what I'm saying, and I think you do. It just sucks. And you're like, you feel like you have broken bones. You feel like you're a mess, and nothing feels great. But yet you need to move forward. So if you are in the fresh season, or if it's someone you're, please go to therapy. Please find a coach. Do your PT. Help heal your bones. I think those that don't often jump into relationships within 3 to 6 months. Honestly, less. And they don't take the time to heal and process what's happened. And then it often repeats itself later down the road. It's brutal, but it's true. So much of the research can show that to you. And oftentimes it's even harder later. Like, the second breakup's even harder. I know personally, after ending an engagement, like, it was not as hard as my divorce, so I'm not gonna lie, but it sucked, and it was so sad. I just think the difference is I had a kid with my ex. But as you're navigating these waters, and you're in the terrain, and you're going through the bushes, and you're broken and you're hurt, there are people out here like myself. Go on my website, it's CourtneyCarroll.com, Waymark Counseling. If you're in North Carolina or Washington State, like, I am here and available for you. And if I can't help you, I will find someone that can, okay? Don't do it alone. People that break bones in a real, like, not, I know a lot of men that do fractures and, like, just get over it. I don't know how. I'm assuming they have really broken bodies in their 40s and 50s. Just like a broken bone, you go to the doctor and you go get it reset, fixed, cast, go to therapy, do the work. Don't jump into a relationship. It won't work. And if it does, it doesn't mean you don't have all the other shit you brought with you. I bring like empty baggage. I kind of talked about that in a different episode. But going forward is I want you to look yourself in the mirror. I know it's weird. This is a weird therapist thing to ask you to do. I want you to look in the mirror and say, I am cracked, but I will not crumble. It's completely okay that I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, because I don't. Because I've never done it before either. And if you don't have the resources, you now have me. You're listening to me. My plugin's here. I or someone else will help you. You will heal. Those cracks will be mended. Mine still are healing. Yes, 2 years later. And know that as long as you don't try to do it by yourself, and by the way, you want to do it by yourself. We all do. I know I did. Gosh, I know I did. And by reaching out for help, even with family and friends, you need someone to help carry you in some of these pieces in these times. And as the next week, I mean, the holidays are here, y'all. It's the 20th, I believe, that I'm filming. And yes, 20th. And Thanksgiving's like next week. And then Christmas is like, 5-6 weeks away. Don't do it alone if you don't have to. I don't think any of us have to, especially if you're listening to me. Look in the mirror and say, I don't know how, but I will. I will figure it out. Every broken bone I've only had 2, has been healed. My ankle and my wrist. I went to the doctor. I got it set. Got some medication for it. Wore cast, PT, and heal. Go to your therapist, your coach. Don't shut down and do it alone, or drink the bottle or whatever, or smoke the joint. Not judging any of these things. They're all fun. Don't close down just because you're cracked and you have some broken bones. Go to the doctors. Go to the therapist. What I can tell you right now is it does get easier. It still just is always going to be different. And just like I think we always kind of have that phantom pain. People say that a lot when you lose a limb. Obviously, I have no experience with that personal, that you can still sometimes feel it. Doesn't mean it has its heavy impact anymore, okay? And conquer the holidays. You know, own that it's going to be different. Know that it will be different. 100%. And honor your feelings that it sucks, that it's different, because it does. But by doing the work, I can tell you as a living testimony, and still actively in therapy, I'm actually going to therapy after this recording, is that you only heal and become more whole. I totally believe, in a weird, creepy way, I don't know if creepy is a good word, but I'm going to use it, that I was meant to go through what I went through. And if you would have asked me that 2 years ago, I would have laughed in your face and been like, get the F out. I remember being like, I'm going to use this. If I have to go through it, I better like be able to help other people. And luckily that's like electrified now. I will use my voice, my story, for no other reason than to help you out there heal. This is not a me thing. This isn't about me necessarily. It's about, I do this for free. I am not paid. I am doing this because I believe the resources are so minimal out there, and a lot of people don't actually know what you're going through or have this voice. I'm not using my platform or my degrees to bash my ex. Like, that's ridiculous. I have no interest. And honestly, most of it's embarrassing for myself. And not embarrassing in a bad way. Like, I sometimes think about that girl that tolerated a lot, and I guess I'm sad for her, but she thought that was love. She thought that was enough. She thought it wouldn't happen again, you know? And if I don't use my voice to help people, then no one freaking talks about it. No one talks about the holidays. I'm sure maybe there's some reels and TikToks and everything now. You gotta admit, like, social media's got its like point. And I'm gonna be posting stuff. I actually have a really exciting announcement next week that I'm gonna be sharing with you, talking about how we're gonna get through the holidays together. And I'm excited about it. But if you thought I would have been like this excited 2 years ago to do the work, to do the healing, no. However, I would have loved the resource. I had a great therapist in North Carolina. I don't see him anymore, but like, he had gone through divorce, so he could really relate to me. The only hard part for me is he went through it as a male and I'm a female. And so it just looked a little bit different. But he really could empathize and sit with me in those hard places. And I have so much love for him. And that's why I feel like today I'm talking to y'all, you ladies, men too. If this resonates, I want you to take what works and takes what doesn't. But obviously I'm a female. And I was a wife. That's just my story, my experience, my circumstance. I don't know. And again, this season's going to be hard. The holiday season is hard. You are going to miss your kids as you share them. You're going to not like that your family split up. Without kids, you're not going to like that you don't have maybe that buffer. I miss that about my ex-husband. He was a great buffer at family events. Or date to that Christmas party. And just to not be alone in the holidays. It's a lonely time. And again, that's why I'm talking about. That's why my podcast is Let's Talk About It. Let's talk about being lonely in the holidays. And then you add divorce or a major breakup into it. It sucks. And I don't want you to expect anything other than you will get through it. You have to do the work, though. You will crumble if you keep cracking open. There's only so many cracks you can have before you crumble. Does that make sense? I think it does. And just knowing because you're cracked or you're broken or you're hurt, that does not mean you can't heal. I'm literally looking at you in my home office, gone through a divorce and a major breakup, and I'm looking at you right now. I'm okay. It's okay. Believe it or not, it was probably supposed to happen this way. I'm bringing purpose to my pain and my heartbreak, and I will help you with yours too. Or you go to your therapist. You say the same thing to them. It doesn't have to be with me. It's okay that this is new. It's okay that you are literally maybe looking at a mirror like, how do I even look at a freaking mirror, Courtney? I'm crying all the time. Look at it, cry, and say it anyway. I might be cracked, but I will not fucking crumble. No. You did not survive everything and to get to this point in your life. And I don't care how old you are. I was in my early 30s. Maybe you're in your 20s. Maybe you're in your 40s. Maybe you're in your 50s, 60s. I have clients in their late 60s going through divorce. Do you know how much fucking time you have left? Literally, all the time. I had a client 50-something years old. Do I really want to start over? I'm like, God willing, their parents died in, I think, 90s. In their 90s years. Like, as in, like, I think their parent died between, like, 93 and 96-ish. I'm like, God willing, you have 40 more years. Do you want to be married to this person? Do you want to stay in this unhealthy dynamic? Do you want to keep taking scraps when you deserve more? No. The new year is just about 5-6 weeks away. 5 to 6 weeks to do some good work for yourself. This season, this holiday season, people might be reaching out to you. Like, are you sure you're okay? Are you okay? Let them. By the way, let people love you. And welcome. You don't have to go spend time with them, but you can say thanks for checking in on me. and know that this is the first time you're experiencing this, or maybe it's second and it still doesn't feel good. It doesn't for me, and I think it's my third holiday season that I'm going through this, and it's okay. It's okay that it's not natural. It will never feel normal. It will never. However, it gets better. You'll find meaning in it, but first you got to find healing. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I am always honored to do the work. If you have questions, comments, anything, feel free to add them and comment. I'm here to listen. I'm here to respond. If you are new, thank you so much for coming and listening to me. We're at like over 30 minutes, and I'm just, again, so honored that you spent your time with me. And thank you for those that have been following my journey. I hope this helps. All of this is out there to help you. And stay tuned for next week. I'm really excited to embrace this holiday season with you. And I just want to end with, just because you're cracked, you will not crumble. All right? Until next time, y'all. Talk soon.